Welcome to the Taurus video. This is going to be all about Taurus and Taurus season. Taurus is about presence. It's about steadiness, comfort, physicality, and luxury. For personal growth during Taurus season, we're really working on cultivating abundance and gratitude in the present moment. You can see on the slide the symbol for Taurus season. Taurus is depicted by the bull, and it is an earth sign, practical application of all four elements. Earth signs are all about action, but with grounded application. Earth signs are about steadiness, practicality, determination, and life force energy. The ruling planet of Taurus is Venus, which is all about beauty, love, pleasure, and material prosperity. Taurus is a fixed sign. It's in the middle of spring, and it's a maintainer of that springtime energy. Fixed signs are all about stamina, maintaining faith and loyalty to the mission, devotion to a path. They may be a little bit less flexible than some of the other signs. As the second season in spring, this is a bit of a calm after the storm, coming after Aries season, which came in like a bang. This is that time for quiet, for space, for healing, and maintaining the seeds that we planted during Aries season, seeing those sprouts come up. Taurus is a nocturnal energy, which is restful, receiving, reflective, and internal. So before we get into the tarot cards, let's take a look at some of the oracle cards that I have that depict Taurus energy. My first card comes from the Soul Care Oracle deck, and it says, I cultivate and nourish my self-worth. This is that time that we're really nourishing ourselves. It's definitely a natural sort of energy, being an earth sign. It's a relaxing and abundant sort of energy. This one here is from my personal power oracle. It says, I am abundant, celebrating the abundance, whether it be financial abundance, personal abundance, the abundance all around you within the world. This is definitely what we're focusing in on for Taurus season and Taurus energy. Here in the Moonology deck, we have prosperity lies ahead for the new moon in Taurus. And we have your dreams need a practical plan for the full moon in Taurus. Definitely a lot more action in this one in terms of making a plan. But we also remember that the full moon in Taurus doesn't come during Taurus season, whereas the new moon does. So keep that in mind when you're looking at the full moon energies for the signs. They don't actually come within the signs. They actually come in their opposite sign on the astrology wheel, which you do have in your handouts. Okay, so let's look at the Moonology manifestation cards. We've got the new moon in Taurus, know your worth. We've got the first quarter moon in Taurus, release control. We can really get stuck in this Taurus energy. It's a fixed sign, and so we can feel very stuck in our ways in this Taurus energy. So this is definitely this sort of invitation to let go of that sort of control that we may be holding on to. The full moon in Taurus, detoxify. And the last quarter moon in Taurus is to be proud of yourself. So I feel like knowing your worth and being proud of yourself are both really integral parts of tuning into and tapping into abundance. So they really do work with the abundance theme. Having Venus ruling Taurus, we're really looking at beauty, at nature, and prosperity. Next up will be the tarot cards. Okay, so let's talk about the cards that represent Taurus energy. So the major arcana card representing Taurus energy is the Hierophant. You may have heard before that Tauruses are really stubborn. We've got the sign of the bull, the stubbornness. It's a fixed sign, so it may not be so flexible. And here we have The traditional artwork for this is, you know, the spiritual leader, the spiritual teacher, and you really do kind of get this feeling that it's this fairly stagnant energy. I always got this sort of, you can see that one of my keywords is tradition. One of my keywords, I really like the keyword spiritual wisdom because I tend to invite people to that when I'm talking about this energy. But it definitely is tradition. And so when we're thinking about that Taurus energy, it can feel a little traditional, stuck, stagnant, not moving, unwavering. I really love this depiction of the Hierophant because you see this sort of spiritual wisdom. You see this like awakening or greater spiritual knowledge, which feels a lot less stagnant maybe than the more traditional version of this Hierophant. But the Hierophant is all about the rules and the structures within society. And a lot of times when I'm reading this card, I'm really feeling like there's a sort of energy of conformity and this energy of breaking out of that comfort zone, breaking out of that conformity, and really finding your true path. And I feel like the spiritual wisdom keyword works really well for that. Next up, we've got the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace encompasses all of the earth signs, and it is an opportunity for material wealth. We talk a lot about the earth signs and how that is that sort of grounded application of all of the signs. And this is that opportunity for time, energy, freedom within this suit, that opportunity for manifestation of wealth as well. Taurus is definitely all about wealth, all about material items, and that really works in here. So the fixed signs are always going to be the 5s, the 6s, and the 7s. So here we've got the 5 of Pentacles. We talk a lot about wealth when it comes to Taurus and Taurus season. We talk a lot about material items, material goods, material luxury, comfort. And the 5 of Pentacles is that moment where we may be feeling at a loss. We may be feeling like we don't have the abundance that we want. A lot of times I read this card and I invite people to notice the resources available to them. A lot of times we're in this like very negative scarcity mindset sort of place, and we're not seeing the resources that are available around us. So this to me feels like an invitation to tap into that abundance, to work on that abundance mindset and see the resources available. Next, we've got the 6 of Pentacles, which is all about reciprocity and the giving and taking of material items, material wealth, energy, time. So with this, I really think about the equal distribution. You can see in the old sort of version of this that, you know, one person is giving to all the rest, and there could be this like element of wealth and then poverty. But you do also see these scales here. So you know that there is a balance somewhere. And to me, this card actually really reframed how I look at wealth, how I look at abundance, and how I look at money. And the reason for that is because I really realized that we may not be getting that balance met by the people who we have served, who we have gifted with our time, energy, or money, but we will still get it back in the long run. And that has really been a huge lesson for me, and something that I really associate with this card is that sort of give and take of material wealth and time and energy, and that it will be replaced. You see this sort of infinity sign in this version of it. And so still really just talking about abundance, that material wealth. Here we've got the 7 of Pentacles. And the Seven of Pentacles to me is like taking stock of everything that you've worked for. And so you can see in the original artwork that he has planted, and now he's just kind of resting, and he's just kind of looking. He's noticing maybe some of these brown leaves, and he's asking himself, like, what do I need to do in order to help this grow? You can see that my keyword is evaluation. And so this is a time that we're maybe sitting back. We're not really doing a whole lot of anything. And in fact, if you notice, like in all three of these cards, there's not a lot of doing. There's this examining of wealth. There's the examining of this sort of mindset around wealth. There's the growth underneath here, where you can see that this person has done a lot of work, but they may not even be seeing the fruits of their labors yet. They might be thinking that this is quite small, but look at all of the work they're done, and look at what's kind of growing underneath. And so there's this sort of element here of evaluating, what do we need to create the right environment for our manifestations? And what do we need to shift moving forward? I feel like sevens are all about, you know, making those moves, making those shifts, evaluating and changing. That is it for the Taurus energy. There will also be the court cards, and you can find those in a separate video. See you there.